How do you get faster without sucking the joy out of running and potentially injuring yourself? You can do what I did and run for a few years, hoping that gradually you could get faster as more and more time passes by.
But if you don't have all of these years to build up a good cardiovascular base gradually, and you still want to run a half marathon under 2 hours, here are a few great tips to help. Making sure that you're built to cope with that extra endurance. And essentially there's two ways that you can do this. So you can do this by either increasing the amount of runs you do per week. I think really good practice to get a nice half marathon sub 2 hours was the challenge that I did a month ago, where I ran 10k every day for 10 days. You don't have to be as wild as that, but just increasing the frequency of your runs as you build up to run your half marathon sub 2 hours. Some farmland there. As you get closer to the half marathon day, or the day you plan to do it, then you could possibly try just increasing the distance that you run. So if you like doing 1 or 2 10Ks per week, then you can try pushing that and adding two to three, possibly 5Ks onto your 10K. So now you're doing 2 15K runs. Think about upping the frequency of your runs and upping the distance of your runs 8 to 4 weeks. So 2 months or 1 month before. A good indicator, oh god, my sunglasses are broken, so I'm depending on this hat. A good indicator of whether or not you're going to hit this sub 2 hour half marathon is if you have tried to run 10Ks, pay attention to how long that's taking you. That will give you a nice indication on whether or not you're ready to take on the challenge of running a sub 2 hour half marathon. And if that is the case, you're looking at smashing your challenge of running it under 2 hours. If your 10Ks are around 56 to 57 minutes. I personally quite like running at the same pace throughout my runs. You know that if you want to get a sub 2 hour half marathon, then you need to be running at 5:41 per kilometre or less. And for you, that may mean that you can run slightly slower for a few kilometres and then pick up your speed maybe in the middle and then towards the last few kilometres before you smash your PR. But for me personally, I quite like keeping a nice even pace, and I sit really nicely at that 5:35-ish pace. It is the afternoon after I have run my half marathon. With this particular run I did today, even though I didn't smash a PR, it was a very comfortable, nice run. I am currently away in the motherland in Spain, and as you can see, there's just not many people around me, which means I can really concentrate on my running. I can decide to listen to a podcast or music if I like. There's not many cars around, which is great. So yeah. It's really important that you as an individual find out how you like to run and how you like to pace yourselves during a more endurance-based run. And the only way to do that, I guess, is nothing to it but to do it. The only way to do that is to get out and attempt a long endurance run and see what works best for you. And if you use apps like the Nike running app, the one that I love to use Strava when I'm listening to podcasts and things. With a half marathon distance, I would be remiss if I was to say that it wasn't important to run that distance once or twice at least before you attempt your half marathon. It may be your first ever half marathon, you may be a pro at doing them, but you just want to increase your distance. I still think it's really important to make sure you run 1 or 2 closer to the time that you attempt to break one of your PRs. And I say this as a person who now, probably the last 1 or 2 years, I prefer to run more shorter distances. I really enjoy my 10 to 15 kilometre runs. They're really nice for me. And so I hadn't run half marathons for possibly a year. So I made sure, for example, before I did one today, that I had done 1 or 2 in the last few months or so, just to make sure that I was okay with running that distance. I'm currently walking to the supermarket in this heat. The sun is lower in the sky now, so it's currently in the afternoon. It's still really hot, so I'm wearing my shorts and a crop top and my hat to protect my face. But yeah, it was ridiculous earlier today. For some reason, I slept in. Well, not for some reason, I was really, really tired. So I got up at literally the worst time. at like 11:30 and attempted my run during the hottest times of the day. Because why? Because I don't know. So it's definitely more bearable now. I can sort of, it's hot, but I can go for a walk and stuff. It makes me think that I could have got a bit faster had I not gone at the hottest time of the day. The Essential cycling black shorts. These are really, really cheap, good value, just plain black cycling shorts. They never ride up, and they are just the best. I always have my bum bag on regardless if I'm running or not. I'm not a very stylish person, but it's just so great. And they are my essentials. I'm part of the thick thigh club, so there is no way, unless I want to torture myself, that I'm going to run with hot pants on. Walking over a bridge that is built over the motorway, which is quite cool.
As well as the obvious things like being well rested and hydrated, where would we be without food? Now, you don't have to consume copious amounts of calories like me every day, but you should be fueling your body with adequate amounts of proteins, carbohydrates and fats. And it can sometimes feel quite overwhelming when people think about nutrition. But a simple way to do this that I found really useful is by making sure your dishes of food look naturally colourful. So you're ensuring you're getting all the vitamins and minerals you need and a good balance of different foods. I couldn't not spend a percentage of this video showcasing all the wonderful Spanish food I ate before and after the run, but I am aware of many of these exotic items might be quite expensive to buy back home, so I made the most of it while I was out there.
Gulas. ¿Cómo se llaman? Gulas. Estas cosas. Con bonito, garbanzos, tomate, aguacate, lechuga y cebolla. Ah, y pepino.
No, no me gusta el número que... Miren, es que el Tino me mandó. Mire, coja natural, no más. A mí no me gustan las
Son mandarinas. Parecen limones o casi aguacate por encima, pero son, yeah, mandarins.
No, it's not a lime, it says. This colour, amazing.
Oh, look how purple that is.
Only eat it when I'm here. But this is an octopus leg. I've just cooked. But love it. Sweet bit. If you are running in hotter climates, keeping hydrated and keeping your body cool is essential. I'm so lucky I had a swimming pool at my disposal, but I'm back in rainy London, so don't get too jealous. For this half marathon in Spain, where I ran in 28 degrees heat, I drank 1.5 litres of water. I had the bottle, I was carrying it with me, but obviously the amount you drink is very subjective to the individual. And I always do a 30-second warm-up jog before any run, even though it was boiling. 28 degrees Celsius! If you enjoyed this video, please like, because it really helps me, and subscribe, and let me know if you're planning a half marathon soon, or if you've done one, what your PB was. Just drop me a comment, I'd be really interested to know. Thanks for watching, and ciao!